Chelsea, of course, humiliated in the Champions League, being knocked out 7-1 by Bayern Munich over the two legs. Frank Lampard not pulling any punches, speaking after the game, saying in the last 20 years we've had players, teams with Prime, Hazard, Costa, Cech, Terry, Drogba competing for the Premier League year on year, getting to finals and semi-finals regularly. We know that's not the case now. It's not a slight work in progress, it's a work in progress. It's not the norm for Chelsea. We'll look at that because that's our job. From having a transfer ban you feel we've missed where other clubs spent and improved, recruitment is a huge part of this game. Nights like this, in a footballing sense, show me a lot, tell me a lot. Robbo, I know you watched the Bayern game. How far are Chelsea from where they want to be?
Oh, they're quite some way. They've only really got, and when Frank Lampard is talking about players of the past, some great players of the past, I think they've only really got one top-class player now. And when I'm talking about a world-class player, that's Conte in midfield. And he had to change him yesterday from a holding midfield player, played him on the right-hand side in the second half. He's the only real world-class player that they've got. They've got some very good players, but they need to go and buy other players, particularly defensively, to go with the likes of Timo Werner. I think will be a massive bonus for them. And Ziyech, who's going to come in and play on one wing and be another player that can run past people. But they need better midfield players and they need better defenders. And if I was Frank Lampard, I'll also bring a better coach in, a more experienced coach for those nights when he hasn't got the experience yet as a top-class coach in Europe. And he probably needs somebody in behind him who's going to give him that little bit of experience, that few ideas that might take him to the next level and Chelsea to the next level. But they need new players.
Robbo, I know you're a keen follower on Twitter and you scroll through all the YouTube comments. A lot of people say that we're a soft touch when it comes to Frank Lampard compared to other coaches. Does he get a pass because he's English and because he's nice?
I don't think that's the reason he gets a pass. I think he's inexperienced, and that's one of the reasons he gets a pass. He did okay at Derby. He's doing quite well at Chelsea. I think nobody expected them to be in the top four. We thought they'd be fifth, maybe even sixth. But I think he says all the right things. I think he talks to the players. I think he's got the players on his side. But that's why I think he needs an experienced manager behind him. At the moment, his coach is somebody that he's grown up with. He's played Jody Morris. I'm not sure he's going to be giving him anything that Frank Lampard doesn't already know. But an experienced coach, just giving him those ideas, giving him that little bit of advice at the right times will make him a better coach. It will also make Chelsea a better team.
We talked a lot, Ian, didn't we, about this young Chelsea side that Frank Lampard has kind of cultivated during the season, but it seems now he's kind of willing to move on from them and he realises he has to if he's going to close the gap on City and Liverpool at the top.
Well, they've already spent a fair bit of money and they're looking to spend a whole lot more. They're looking for a new goalkeeper for a start because he doesn't fancy Kepa in goal, no question about that. So look for a goalkeeper signing, maybe Nick Pope of Burnley, who could be England's #1 quite soon. That might be an affordable deal for them. But I think the most important signing, the one they're really chasing, is Declan Rice from West Ham. West Ham are going to play hard ball about that. But Robbo's right. I mean, Chelsea let in 54 Premier League goals, worst in the top 10. And that was as many as Brighton, who finished 15th. Their games were like basketball matches at times. They could not close the show out at all. They'll need to tighten up. They need Declan Rice, and they'll maybe play him at the back, not in midfield.
Who are they going to buy, Jules?
It's a good question, Dan. I think, like the boys have said, they're certainly very ambitious on the transfer market. They've been already with Timo Werner and Ziyech. I think Kai Havertz is likely to come too. But they need, like Darke just said, a goalkeeper, and that will cost a fair bit. Whether you go and get Onana, whether you go and get Pope or Henderson, or whoever they want, that will be expensive. They need a left back. They need at least one centre back, another midfielder, as we said. And then if you've got Havertz, then I think you've got enough going forward. But this is not easy. And you do wonder, after what Lampard said on last night, on Saturday night, what happened in January then? You've known for a long time now that you needed a rebuild, that you needed to bring players in. How come they didn't sign anyone in January where they could have had? They chased Mertens and another striker for weeks and weeks, and in the end, no one came. And you wasted one transfer window, and we know how important those transfer windows are, especially when you have a lot of players to bring in and others to sell. And they just wasted that full month completely by not bringing anyone. And now we will see what they do, but it would have probably been easier for them to do a bit of business as well in January. Then they would have less to be doing now in the summer when, especially with what happened, it would be even more difficult to bring the right players in.
What would your priority be, Robbo?
It would be to get a good defender in, a good centre-half who can not only play on the ball, but be a good defender both when balls come in the box, but also reading danger. And that's what Chelsea's defenders haven't done particularly well. They haven't read danger. We saw it in the semi-final, in the FA Cup final against Arsenal, and we saw it in that game again, or the 2 games against Bayern. Didn't read danger, didn't react quickly enough, and that's why they conceded goals.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.